Hello all. So this is maybe, a kind of lot of visualization. In fact, you can see with this topic, I feel. And one of the interesting visualization that you can see in this topic. And most of us are really fascinated and to work with maps in Tableau, not only in Tableau, any kind of visualization, if you take into consideration, most of us are really, really fascinated to work with a map. So it's time for us to understand what is the meaning of maps in Tableau and what are the requirements that we need to have, that we need to meet if we wanted to draw a map in Tableau. So that's what we are going to unveil in this session. So let's get started with the session. First of all, you will definitely have a question. What is the question is that when should I use maps in my Tableau? The answer is very clear. Whenever you will have a geographic dimension with your data, in your data, you find your geographic dimension. Only if you have a geographic kind of dimension, you can work with maps in Tableau. Now, this actually leads to another question. What's the another question is, in case if you will say it is a geographic dimension, what do you mean by that? Any kind of region wise data, if you have, maybe in the form of state, city, country, territory. So all of these things can actually be represented by its corresponding latitude and longitude values. So if you're able to represent these region wise data by making use of your latitude and longitude values, that's what you call it as a geographical dimension. Okay, so which is your GPS coordinating is what you call it as a latitude and a longitude, right? So this is one way, one reason why you wanted to, most of the time this is the reason you will be making use of maps. Another point is that, as I said, seeing the things in a map is really fascinating. So if you're totally bored with working with a bar chart and a line chart, this is a definite refresher. So you can enjoy working with this type of visualization. So these could be the two reasons why somebody would want to work with a map. Fine. Now you might be having some questions relative to the geographic dimension. So the first question is that, suppose for example I have some data in my data field. Okay, now that particular data is not being assigned as a, it's not assigned as a geographic dimension. So do I have an option, first of all, to convert the given data field to a geographic dimension? This may be something that you wanted to do it before you actually start exploring on how you can draw your map. This is the first question that you might be having. So let's try to find an answer for that. Say, for example, if you go to your Tableau workbook, okay, and in your workbook, you see that your global superstore data 2017 is there with us. Now, here you can see that this postal code is actually there as a geographic data and state is there as a geographic data. Why do I say this as a geographic data? Is because the symbol is a globe symbol. So anything which is coming in this way, you call that as a geographic data. Now the question is that, suppose for example, maybe I consider, just for argument purpose, let us consider that order ID is something that I wanted to be converted as a geographic data. Okay, S- s- frankly speaking, order ID couldn't be a geographic dimension. However, just to show you how you can actually add a particular dimension, particular data field to a geographic dimension, that's why I'm just telling you. So now you have an order ID here. So if you go on top of it, you find some text format kind of thing, right? So if you just click on it, it is going to show you the data types. Okay, so in case if it is like, for example, most of the time this option would be required when we are working with a zip code. So what happens is, zip code, just because it is a number, most of the time it is being ended at as its corresponding data type ended up with a number. So if you wanted to convert that as a geographic data, what you need to do is that you can change to the you can change any kind of number to a string first of all. Okay, so you can convert any data type to another data type by making use of these options. Once that is done, you go on to this geographic role, and then you choose what sort of geographic role you wanted to give it to your data. Okay, so once you have done this, if you are done with that manually, then you can convert any data type which is of different format, and you can convert that as a geographic dimension. Okay, so the very first question dealing with a geographic dimension is being cleared now. Okay, so even if you do not have a proper you see that a data field is there, that data field should actually be lying as a geographic dimension, but it is not been mentioned as a geographic dimension. So I wanted to convert that, or I want to add that to a geographic dimension. How do I do it? That's what I showed you now. Okay, so you just select the corresponding data type and convert that data type, then you going to assign the geographic roles. Once you assign the geographic roles, what internally it happens, you need to understand. Once you have assigned the geographical roles, internally, each value, whatever value you have it in that corresponding data field, is going to be associated with its corresponding latitude and longitude. Suppose, for example, in my city, if I have, let me just, yeah. So in my city, suppose, for example, okay, so what I have is that I have something like a city. Okay, inside my city, I have Bangalore, I have Chennai, I have Mysore, I have Hyderabad. Okay, and this city I have assigned it as a assigned as a geographic dimension. I have done this already. Okay, so once this is assigned as a geographic dimension, these are the fields which I'm talking about, which is there in this particular data field. Okay, so now once it is being given as a geographic dimension, what is going to happen internally is that every value, okay, so Bangalore is going to be associated with its corresponding latitude and longitude. Okay, how does it this corresponding to latitude and longitude association is happening? You might be thinking in that sense. So this is happening just because Tableau is basically having a geocoding database, which is actually inbuilt in Tableau. So with that, you can actually find the corresponding latitude and longitude. I mean, it will automatically find its corresponding latitude and longitude and then sets it. In case, if you are unable to do that also, you can perform it manually also, so that you will see it in the custom decoding part that we will look into the next session. All right. But there is a possibility that you can manually convert, I mean, you can manually enter the corresponding latitude and the longitude if in case Tableau is unable to associate the value to its corresponding latitude and longitude. So internally, your database is there that is going to take care of associating the values. Okay, so this is what is the meaning of assigned as a geographic dimension. Okay, so that's about so first thing is you have to have your data field converted to a geographic dimension if in case if it is not present as a geographic dimension. If it is there as a geographic dimension, absolutely no issues, you can go ahead and perform any kind of things that you wanted to do it with the geographic dimension. In case if it is not there, you do it manually. I showed you how we can do that. The next step was what is happening internally once I assign a particular field as a geographic dimension. It is being converted to its corresponding latitude and longitude. Internally, what happens, we understood. So this is the basic underlying concepts which you need to know if you are going to work with a map in Tableau. Okay, this is what is happening internally in Tableau. Now that we have understood that, okay, this is what is happening internally, but now what I can do is I just wanted to make use of Tableau and then I wanted to create some maps. That might be the next thing that you might be thinking about. Okay, so what we are going to do is that definitely we are going to create a simple map. Okay, so the simple map that we are going to create is maybe a state-wise profit or sales. If you wanted to find out how we can do that, we will see that. Okay, so let's get inside our Tableau environment. This is the sheet I'm having. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I just wanted to do a graphical representation for finding out the state-wise profit. Okay, so that use case or the problem statement is giving you a clear indication what are the fields that I need to choose it. Okay, I'm talking about state-wise. So do I have a field? Yes, there is a field called a state field, which is already a geographic dimension. So I do not have to worry about anything. Since this is a geographic dimension, Tableau will automatically assign its latitude and longitude. I do not have to worry about anything. So how do I convert this as a map? Okay, what you don't even have to drag and drop this to your columns or the rows. Just double click on it. Okay, once you have double clicked on it, what happens is that you can see that the corresponding longitude and the latitude is being generated already. Okay, so this is how your map is going to look. Okay, now if I just wanted to add some detailing to the map so that map will look really attractive and also easy to analyze. If I have to do that, what are all the things I can do? Actually, for what I constructed this map, I constructed this map just because of the reason I wanted to identify the state-wise profit. So I need to look into the profit also, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop down my profit also here. Okay, so I have dropped down my profit. Now I need to the profit I need to see it, right? So how do I see the profit? Maybe I will label it. Okay, so you can see there the labeling is already there. Okay, but again this I can make it look still more better. So what I can do is that I maybe probably I just wanted to understand what are the sales which is done at every place. Okay, so what I wanted to do is that maybe I will add one more state, and then let me just do the coloring for it. So let me just do the color code for it. Okay, so this is showing me this this state-wise coloring is being done. For the color coding I have used this one, and you could probably see that. And maybe I'll just drop this, and let me just put the color according to sum of profit. This looks better for me, right? Because I could see a different colors, and each of these color is saying, giving me some kind of information. What information it is giving is that you can see the legend here. So this one is the lowest sales. This color is denoting the lowest sales, and this color is denoting the highest sales. So you can identify, like, which region is having the lowest sales. This colors denotes you to identify that better. So what was the objective? I just wanted to identify state-wise sales or state-wise profit I wanted to identify. So you can very well clearly do this. So you can do any kind of things, like, if you wanted to add one more sum of the profit, and if you wanted to display these things, again you can you can display the names of these states. Okay, and also if you want to keep the sales value also for profit, you can do that also by labeling it. Okay, so you can do that. All right, so this is the way you can actually make use of your mapping. So this is one way you can actually create your maps. Okay, now in case if I this is one thing that I wanted to show you. And also one more thing that I have to show you is that, see here, there is these are some of the options which is available in your map. So if you go anywhere here, you can find this. In case if you are unable to find this, just go to your map, and then there will be map options. So you can choose your map options. Okay. And here also there is map, and then you can use a background map also. If you want it to be light in color, you can choose it, and normal in color. You can see that this color has been a little bit changed. And also like if you want to change the color to something else, like dark color or something like that, you wanted to choose it, you can see here. So anything could be used in this way. Okay. And if you want to search for a specific place, like for example, let me search Texas. Okay. So this is Texas. It's giving me an option also. So just click on that. If you search it, you can see that it is zooming out the Texas part alone. So you can just go ahead and do that also. If you wanted to zoom out certain things and see, it is going to be very useful with this search map, in fact. Okay, you can just zoom out by making use of this, and then you can zoom in if you wanted to do. This plus and minus is for zooming in and zooming out. And then this is also to zooming to the home. Okay, so this was the previous one which we saw. So like that also we can do it. And this is actually, you can do a selection by making use of these things. You can actually say the zoom area. Suppose for example, I have a rectangle here. Okay, I just select my rectangle. I can choose which are all the sales I just wanted to show. Okay, so you can see that, you can understand that, like what are the total. I just, yeah, you can see here the 16 items are selected, and the total sales which has been made here is 10,823. So likewise 16 items are selected. The total sale for this items, if you wanted to see, you can see it very well by making use of this rectangle. And then there's one more option, which is your you know uh, which is your, there's one more selection which is available. um yeah, that is, you can actually go ahead and perform a circle kind of selection also. You can do it. So like this, you can select it and then see what is the total profit it is being made for 16 items selected, and the sum of the profit is this much. So area wise, if you wanted to see the profit, you can do it. Just outside you click it, you will get the full thing. And also, if you wanted to do a free form kind of selection, that is also possible. So see here, this is a free form selection, which you can do it. Like, any area you wanted to select it, free form, you can select it, and only those areas are displayed. And you just uh, click on any one of the item, you can see that 23 items are selected, and the sum of the profit is something like, 1,29,728. So that way you can actually make use of this options. These are different options that you can make use of it. Okay. And yeah, this is actually a pinning option. You can just pin on to one particular place, and then you can see. Okay, so unpin, it will take you out of that. Okay, so these are the different map options available. And as I said, these map options, you can explore it. Like if it is disabled or something, you can just go ahead and click on this and enable it. We'll look about map layers in the next session. All right, so these are the different options. And one more thing that you wanted to do is, maybe you wanted to do is that, see, these are automatically done. Suppose if you wanted to keep a shape for the map that you wanted to create, so this also could be selected. Okay, so now you can see that this is a symbol map basically. Okay, and the symbols which is being given as a circle now just I wanted to change the shapes of the symbol map, I can go ahead and choose the symbol maps shapes as well. Okay, so this is the way you can change the shapes of the map and represent the map by making use of symbols. Okay, so these are the different options that would have helped you to understand the maps in Tableau in a clear manner. This is the way actually we create the maps in Tableau. Okay, so to end up this session, I just wanted to convey to you that we explored on the different options which is available in constructing a map. Okay, So we have successfully constructed the map, and it was visually appealing to see maps and working with maps and doing an analysis with maps. So anywhere, if you have a geographical type of data, always you can go for constructing your maps and start analyzing the data with your maps in a very useful and an interesting manner, in fact. So there are two more concepts which is left out with maps, wherein we will discuss about the edit locations and then the map layers in the next session. So that's all I have for this session. Thank you.